Hello again. This is Scott from pray5.org. That's Pray, the number 5.org. I encourage you to look at our website. It is full of different materials, videos, questions that are asked that may not be addressed on these videos that you're looking for, but it's easy to find. You go to it. There's no, it doesn't cost anything. We don't send any information, and you can research it at the privacy of your computer. If you're wanting more information, we have on the website where it's redirecting you to sites that are filled with that have staff and have a lot more resources than we do on Pray 5. Our desire is not to grow a bigger site. It's not to grow a bigger audience. It's to answer basic questions, the same questions that I was asking, that my friends were asking, and we set this website up to answer just basic questions that may not be done on a daily basis in your church or in your realm of friends. I made a video here just a couple of days ago about what's happening. You can go on this website, on the YouTube here, or on Facebook, and you can go to Aledo, that's ALEDO, Daily Christian Talk. We have live videos on Tuesdays at 6:30. That's 6:30 Central Time. And you're welcome to come and join in. And it's from 6:30 to about 7:30. We try to keep it below an hour because people have to, feed the kids and get to bed and get ready for work the next day. I've been asked to address the rapture, the tribulation, and the millennial reign. I went over the rapture and the tribulation up to the millennial reign. I've been asked to give the good news about what's going to happen. So not just to give the bad and the doom and gloom, but to give the good side. And that's what this video is right now. Okay, what it is, there is the last video, which if you haven't seen it, pause this, go back to the last video on about the tribulation and the rapture and the tribulation. If you're on YouTube, it's the one right before this one. If you're on the Aledo Daily Christian Talk, it's the one right before this one. Okay, the millennial reign is the 1,000-year reign after, because we have the rapture, 7-year tribulation, which is hell on earth, or most of the population dies off from war and famine, disease, pestilence, and so forth. Everyone who makes it through the tribulation that has not taken the mark of the beast and is obviously still breathing, that will go into the millennial reign, the ones who are believers. If you have rejected Christ and his forgiveness during the tribulation, then you will be at the end of that, at the very end, when Christ comes down and steps foot on the Mount of Olives, he will put Satan, his angels, and the ones who've taken the mark of the beast, which they lose their soul for that, in a holding cell for 1,000 years. Okay, I'm not going to go over that video. That's one before this one. You can look it up. Now, the beginning of the 1,000-year reign. This is when the earth, Christ goes ahead and turns it back into the way it was supposed to be. There won't be any more wars, rumors of wars. There won't be any more disease or pestilence, or it'll be run by him. So therefore, we'll have a leader. It'll be a one world leader. It won't be like the one that just got put in the lake of fire. It will be Christ himself. He'll rule. Now, this is not when we have a new heavens and new earth. That's not till the end of the 1,000-year reign. Okay, so during this time, it says we will learn war no more. Good news. We won't be sending our sons and daughters off to get killed in a foreign land somewhere. We won't be having to deal with that. The medical issues. People will be living, it says that if you live to be 100 and die at 100, that's the same as an infant dying today. It's considered to be a curse because you died way too early. So that means a 100-year-old person is not old and feeble and drawn up like they are now. They'll be considered an adolescent. If you remember, before the flood in Genesis, people lived to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 years. Methuselah lived 969 years. He died 7 days before the flood started. That's another video. So that will be restored. The earth will be restored where you are able to live, and without the disease and stuff, your body will be able to regenerate, be able to heal itself through through the what's going to happen, just like before the flood, before the uh, collapse of the ice layer that was around the earth, and before everything we have now. The reason that we lived only to be no more than 120 years old is because of the sin. This will this Our earth will be regenerated, not not a new heavens and new earth yet, but will be somewhat regenerated by Christ, so that it'll support life at a longer distance, or for a longer period of time. Okay, so if you're in the millennial reign, if you were a believer and raptured up, or a tribulation saint, which it talks about in Revelation, they call you. Some churches say you can't be a saint or a priest unless you're ordained by that denomination. It's not what Scripture says. You have tribulation saints, and in Revelation 28, 19, and 20, it says, and the saints, that's us, believers, and priests, that's us as believers. Not one of it that's in a pulpit in front of a church necessarily. But we are called saints and priests. Okay. The ones that have died or were raptured out will come back and with Christ when he comes back to rule and reign. Okay. The ones that were killed or died during the tribulation, they will also be able to see, but that's another story. They'll be in heaven. The 1,000-year reign is for people who have come from the tribulation into the millennial reign. They will repopulate the earth. They will start having children. The reason we know this isn't us, the ones who are raptured out or who have already gone to be with the Lord during the tribulation also, is because once we're in heaven, we're no longer being married or given in marriage. We're no longer, that's an earthly thing that God created. So therefore, we won't be having children in heaven. We won't be reproducing new people. The people on the earth during the millennial reign will have babies just like now. But think about it. If you're a husband and wife during the millennial reign and you're of childbearing age for 200 and 300 and 400 years, that's a lot of children. So therefore, that will go for the entire time, and you won't have to send them off to battle. You won't have to send them off to war anymore. The thing is, we'll be able to see Christ. Our leader will be Jesus Christ. He'll be able to know who our King is. He'll be here. Okay. We have a hard time understanding this right now because we're thinking, well, no one that's alive today has seen him. But that won't be the case. He's going to come back. He's been to the earth once. He's going to come back in bodily form and remain from the tribulation into the tribulation until the end of the 1,000 years. Our enemy, Satan, and his angels will be loosed at the end of the 1,000 years to come and attack Israel again, because it says attack the city of God. That's Jerusalem. Now, here's the thing also. I talked about in the previous video about how the enemy will try to encircle Jerusalem. Why is it that he hates the Jewish people? Genesis, where God told Adam and Eve, he said, he was talking to Satan, and he was letting them know as well that the seed of woman, in other words, their ancestry, that the Messiah would come through their line, is the seed of woman will crush your head, talking about to Satan, and you will bruise his heel. This was done at the cross. Okay. During the entire history of the world, Satan has hated the Jewish people and hated Israel. Any chance he got, he killed them. He hates the Christians too, because we worship a Jewish Messiah, Jesus Christ, or his name is Yeshua. Okay, so during this time, he gets one last chance to try to attack before he knows he's getting ready to go into the lake of fire. He draws a great number of humans to attack, and then it's over. Christ then says, nope, it's done. And he takes them and puts them into a lake of fire, judges them, and then puts them in the lake of fire and shuts it off. Then he creates new heavens and new earth. And then we spend an eternity with Christ with a new, like I said, new heavens, new earth. It won't look like this. It won't be all brown and everything. It'll be green. We won't have any sin. It's all going to be burned off, because the reason that it's burned, the first purification that God did was the flood. And then he said, I will no longer flood the earth. That's the reason for the rainbow. The rainbow has been taken and used in a perverse way for sexual perversion, to identify as a sexual perversion. That's God created the rainbow to remind us every time we see it that he will never flood the earth, the entire earth again, but he will burn it. When he burns it, it will purify the earth, because sin is in everything on this earth, every plant. Now, a plant can't sin. That's not what I'm saying. The effects, or the cause, the effect of sin is, things die, they decay, they rot, they rust, is because of this, the penalty of sin. That will be removed. And then once it's purified, he recreates new heavens and new earth. We will no longer have any kind of death. Think about it. That would affect everything on the planet. If sin's not here, there's no more death, no more sin, for all the former things have passed away. We'll have animals. That means you don't have to worry about burying your animal. I mean, I know that's kind of, people say, I love my animals, and I would like to be able to, have one and not have to watch it get old. That's going to be the case. So the good news is, if you're a believer, this is what you have to look forward to. If you're an unbeliever, this is what you have to look forward to not enjoying in hell, or actually in the lake of fire, because hell is cast off in the lake of fire. The thing is, the unbelievers will be in darkness. They will be in agony, and they know that they can never get out of it. So there's no hope. There's no Christ. There's no love. There's no moisture. There's no nothing. Hopelessness that can never, ever be taken away. As the believer, we skip all that, and we won't remember that. Think about it. This is Scott from Pray 5. Don't be lazy. Oh, before I forget, if you're wanting more information on this, go to the pray5.org website and go to Tribulation, Rapture, click on the content box. Just scroll down till it says Millennial Reign. It has the information. It even has a video. It has all the chapter and verse there to explain it, what's getting ready to happen. Again, this is Scott from pray5.org. Don't be lazy. Go do the research yourself.